Hey everyone, thanks for joining. We're just going to give this a few minutes to allow people to trickle in, and then we'll get things going. Alrighty, we'll start things now. Hi everyone, my name is Patrick Prendergast. I'm the Digital Marketing Coordinator here at Yamaha UC. We're so excited to have you all here today for our first Wednesday Waves webinar going over Wireless 101. I'd like to make you aware that this webinar will be recorded, so we will send you the recording at the end of the presentation. Additionally, there is a Q&A function at the bottom of your Zoom screen. We will be monitoring it and will hold answering questions until the end. With that, I'm thrilled to introduce to you our Field Systems Engineer, Tim Mackie.
Thank you very much, Patrick. How are you doing today, everybody? I hope well. And thank you for your time. Again, my name's Tim Mackie, and I am a Field Systems Engineer with Yamaha Unified Communications. And I've been in this industry for about 20 years now with a number of manufacturers, and this is my 11th year with Yamaha. So just to get out of the way, a little bit of announcements. These are the welcome to our Wednesday Waves webinar series. This is the first of a series of 4 webinars covering the Yamaha ADECIA RM wireless microphone systems. This first webinar, as you can see, is called Unleash Unrivaled Clarity, Selecting the Ideal Wireless System. And we're going to go over an introduction to the RMW wireless system and understanding the technology behind Yamaha wireless microphones. The second webinar will be next month, Decoding Conference Systems, a guide to specifying the perfect wireless solution. That'll go over installation, setup, best practices, tips for optimizing audio quality in different environments. Then we'll do a third webinar in May, Evaluating Customer Experience, Applications and Use Cases for Yamaha Wireless Mic Systems. And we'll go over, again, setup for best practices. We'll go over tips for sorry, I got my notes a little wrong here. We'll be going over case studies and actual applications where features and feature sets of this system are actually applicable to those environments. And then we will finish up with budget-friendly, evaluated audio. Yamaha wireless microphones can process themselves. And we'll talk about having that built-in DSP within this system and how that requires you to not have an expensive other DSP, which can limit you to 8 to 12 microphones in many cases, maxed out. And we'll look at the flexibility of this system. So with that housekeeping out of the way, let's dive right in. So, what we will cover today, why wireless microphones? What are the benefits? Why are they the go-to and sometimes the very, very best solution? What is the best wireless system? Which technologies should I be using? Obviously, we believe in ADECIA 6.0 spread spectrum technology. It's robust, reliable, better fidelity, higher density, and many other advantages as well we'll look at. And we'll take a look at the Yamaha ADECIA RM system. Why is it the best system out there on the market right now? What are the key advantages of it? And we'll talk about using the wireless system within the ADECIA platform and in standalone applications as well. So first of all, why wireless mics? Well, the perfect placement. Whenever anyone asks me, Tim, what's the best audio I can get in this conference room? It's pretty simple. Take a gooseneck directional microphone and put it right in front of your participants. Give everyone their own mic. That is the best design from audio that is microphone that is very close to the audio source, very close to your mouth. You simply can't beat that. There are other technologies. We have amazing dynamic tracking beamforming mics where you want to cover a large area very cost effectively. But really, for premium audio, the best you can get is a microphone on the table right where you are. No wires to run. We'll take a look at that. Not just when you don't want to, but when you can't. Obviously, the big one is no holes to drill. We actually are on the finest tables in the world. If you look at boards of regents, courtrooms, Fortune 500 rooms, conference rooms, executive rooms, you're going to see that they're generally going to have wireless microphones in those environments for many reasons. One of them, first of all, is that you just don't want to drill into that nice table. And flexibility. Wireless mics can be moved around. With a wired mic, it might be in a great place for most of the time, but maybe you want to move to a different area of the room. That's the flexibility with wired mics. And the systems can be subdivided. You can take an 8-channel system and really divide it in between 2 rooms and have 4 channels in each room and then combine it back to a single room. So a lot of flexibility with wireless mics as well. But it all comes down to the inverse square law. And this is applicable to everything we do in conferencing. And the principle is pretty straightforward. Whenever you move a microphone away from your mouth, you're going to drop in signal-to-noise ratio. For example, if I have a microphone 1 foot away from my mouth and I move it to 2 feet away, I've now dropped 6 dB. If I double that distance again, move it to 4 feet away, I'm now 12 dB down. That is over half. We've all used a cell phone. Works great when you have the microphone next to your mouth. You hold your cell phone out at arm's length and point it at the sky, not so much, right? So this is the key principle of any conferencing microphone. Get it as close as you can, or any microphone, get it as close as you can to that participant. Now, non-invasive installations is another key point of wireless mics. Installing wired mics involves drilling through the conference room furniture or ceilings. This often results in ruining an expensive conference table, or in the case of glass, drilling might not be possible at all. In contrast, wireless microphones offer a non-invasive solution. Setting up is as simple as bringing the microphones and wireless access point into the room, connecting them over a single Cat5 to a PoE switch. This hassle-free installation process could not be any easier, and it preserves the aesthetics of the room. Flexibility. Cut the cords around the table. In traditional setups, microphone cables can keep the mics bound to a specific spot, so the person speaking must return to that spot to be heard. Wireless microphones allow speakers to move the microphone to any location in the room, enhancing engagement and interaction with the audience. With no cords to manage, presenters can focus on delivering their message effectively and clearly. This is perfect for training rooms, reconfigurable spaces where you're moving the tables around. Maybe one day as well, you might want Omni mics for in the round, like we're looking at here. Or you might set up a training session where directional mics are more applicable. It's easy to swap out microphone types for different applications with the RMW system. The RMW system can support 2 charger bases, as I mentioned before. So you can take an 8-channel system and divide it between 2 rooms and have it be one cohesive system as well. So what is the best wireless system? What's the best technology for wireless microphones? Well, basically, you've got 2 choices, RF and spread spectrum. We'll take a look at that. RF is highly susceptible to interference, and there's other issues with that as well. Analog versus digital mics. Which is really better? Which performs better? Which has the best clarity and security is a big issue with analog mics. We'll take a look at that. Battery life and charging. This is a huge component and part of wireless microphones. And the advances we've made in lithium-ion batteries and USB-C charging at the table really are taking these platforms to the next level. The RMW system really is a step above of what's been out there. And footprint and scalability. These are important too, and we'll look at that. We have a very elegant, very sleek, very small charger base. One of our competitors, if you want to do a 16-channel system, they occupy about 4 feet of counter space and the ability to really scale that system. We'll take a look at what makes digital better for scalability as well. So RF, radio frequencies, UHF, VHF, most systems are going to operate either at 900 megahertz, 2.4 gigahertz, or they will be spread spectrum decked. We're all familiar with belt pack mics, clip-on presenter mics. Those are generally operating in the RF space. They don't scale well. They're highly susceptible to interference, and they're not secure. Spread spectrum, by the way, spreads that out over a wider bandwidth. We can communicate over a wider area, 1.92 to 1.93. And by the way, DECT stands for Digitally Enhanced Cordless Telecommunications, and it's a reserved slot for specific products. And we'll take a look at that. And it is based on spread spectrum. I'm not going to drill too deep on that, but we'll kind of look at how that works. So spread spectrum is kind of interesting. If you're ever bored one night, do some reading. Hedy Lamarr, the famous actress and scientist, kind of helped develop this in its beginning. It's kind of based on the concept of piano keys. Basically, you have, like, for example, we'll say you have 5 bands and 24 slots in each band. So you've got 24 channels. So with spread spectrum, the concept is if one of those channels has interference, the mic can simply move to another channel. That's the advantage of it. That's what resists interference and makes it very clear and really high clarity, no dropouts, great audio with spread spectrum technology. Pretty much all of your enterprise class microphone solutions are going to be DECT. And again, a dedicated frequency allows us to have much higher mic counts, up to 64 mics in one room, and we'll take a look at that density. And improved quality. You just cannot beat DECT 6.0, even over previous DECT mics, and certainly better fidelity than analyst conferencing wireless mics as well. And we can support security. So analog mics versus digital mics. What are the basic differences? Well, analog mics use what's called a compander. That's a combination of compressor expander. Basically, we compress the signal at the belt pack or whatever it is before we transmit it. Then we re-expand it at the receiver because we have very narrow bandwidth to work with. Well, digital mics don't have that problem. They can deliver a consistent digital bit stream using the full dynamic range of that original signal without any companding. That's a huge advantage. So digital mics can actually sound better for musical instruments, for voice. Encryption security. Analog mics simply cannot be encrypted. Anybody with a good sniffer, a good receiver can listen in and record anything that's being said on an analog RF mic, whereas we support a full Diffie-Hellman-based AES 256 encryption. Analog mics are far more prone to interference and audio dropout. They share space with other stuff. And we can do much higher density. We're not just talking about mics in the room, but as a campus-wide solution as well. We'll take a look at that. So here's the big stuff on battery life. Back in the day, with the older systems, you'd be lucky to get 8 hours of talk time out of a battery charge. Now, with these lithium-ion batteries, we're getting well over 20 hours. This is a very conservative estimate. And 72 hours of standby. I've left my microphones in my car after a trade show for a couple of days, brought them back into my shop, and then, boom, they're still fully active. And it only takes 3.5 hours to get a full charge out of them. And again, this is an enterprise-class solution. We can report battery life, battery charge status to third-party control systems as well. So you can have that reflected in your GUI if you want to see what the status is of any particular aspect of any mic. And an intelligent, sleek charger base, we'll take a look at that. But what I really like is the one-button bulk pairing. If you're not going through the GUI and you do want to do it just manually, you don't have to do each mic individually. You simply put them on the charger base and push a button, and they will sequentially pair themselves. And this is huge, this last point. For me, this was a huge thing that Yamaha brought to bear with this new product line, the RMW. Not only can you now talk for well over 20 hours and run that battery way down, but now you can simply plug in a USB-C cable off of your laptop, Apple Cube, anything, and the mic will charge up while it's fully active at the table. Each one of our microphones has a USB-C charge port on the base. This is really a very important addition. And footprint, this is what I talked about earlier. I think our charger base is smaller than an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. It is really elegant. We have powerful magnets on the base. You can walk around without that gooseneck flopping over. You don't have USB cables to plug onto. We have 4 contacts that are spring-loaded. This is robust and will last for years. And there are strong magnets on the bottom of these microphones. They literally pull themselves right into their cradle. I've actually taken that gooseneck microphone and hung it upside down off a metal chaseway. You can stick these microphones to anything magnetically and they'll just stay there. And again, 64 mics in a single room. If you're using this system standalone, you can start building, and they're 8-channel systems, so you can go 8, 16, 24, so on and so forth, all the way up to 64 mics in a single room. That's a huge advantage. We I think the most we could do back in the day with the old Revo systems was about 44 microphones. And we were bragging about that being more than the competitors at the time. So yes, way better density for microphones within the new DEC 6.0. 20 systems can be synchronized over a single network segment. Suppose you have a classroom, a bunch of classrooms next to each other, and you have an 8-channel system in one, and then another, and another, all close to each other. Well, DECT does need to be synchronized. And in the old days, we used to have to run a cable between the antennas, an analog cable, to make one of these the master 100 hertz clock. And we'll talk about that a little bit further. But keep in mind, you can now do 20 classrooms, each with an 8-channel system, all in close proximity to each other, and not have to run any wires. They will synchronize right over the Dante network, which we're already leveraging. And I apologize, I've got 2 of those posted twice there. I guess my proofreader didn't catch that one. Anyway, here's a look at the system. Again, a super sleek design. Aesthetics do play a significant role in conference room designs, and Yamaha's wireless microphones boast a very sleek and modern design. They're really rugged too. I have traveled with these mics in a case, dropped them. They're pretty robust. And they integrate into any environment, from corporate boardrooms, classrooms, to upscale conference venues. Non-distracting appearance not only enhances the overall ambience of the room, but also reflects a commitment to quality and professionalism. We have a very intelligent charger base. This can go anywhere. It's got its own little power supply you can plug in. The only network drop you need is to the antenna, to the WAP. Both the microphones and the charger base will communicate wirelessly to the WAP. And we'll talk about later, you can have 2 charger bases paired to 1 WAP. So there are 3 different options for how you set this system up. One, if you're using the RMW within the ADECIA environment, you simply log into your RMCR room controller and walk through the traditional setup wizard. And part of it is detecting the wireless system, pairing the chargers, pairing the microphones, as you finish on your way to tuning through the auto-tuning setup by playing the pink noise and tonal sweeps out of the speakers. It just doesn't get any simpler, folks. Just like our ceiling mics and our table mics, they get auto-discovered with the ADECIA solution. But we also have an amazing onboard wizard and web UI that you can walk through. We'll take a look at that. And full third-party control. And with RMCR's presets, now we can do wholesale changes with these as well. And we'll touch on a little bit of that control at the end here. So taking a look at the onboard wizard itself, if you're using this system without our CR, you're just going to log into it. And the intuitive web UI, the web user interface, really simplifies the setup with auto pairing, audio routing capabilities. Moreover, the built-in wireless spectrum analyzer assists in optimizing microphone setup, even for non-experts, because it provides the information you need to see in that room in real time how many microphones can be added without creating any interference. So literally, the first step is you scan the environment. The next step is you're going to set your time zone, then it's going to find your charger and connect to it, then it's going to pair your microphones. If the firmware is off, if I swap in a new charger, it will update it automatically at that point. And then it sets up your automatic Dante routing and gives you a full summary. It just does not get any easier than this. This is a super simple, easy system to set up. So, looking at the key advantages of this system, as remote collaboration becomes increasingly prevalent, compatibility with popular conferencing platforms like Teams is crucial, Zoom, so forth. Yamaha's wireless mics are the only wireless microphones certified for use with Microsoft Teams. This guarantees seamless integration, exceptional audio performance for virtual meetings and conferences. With Yamaha, users can experience crystal clear audio and reliable communications during these meetings. So yes, we do use DECT. If I'm specifying a conferencing microphone system, I'm not going to look at anything but DECT. And we're using the latest technology. I think it was 128 back in the day. We're at full 256 encryption. A beautiful 6 and 12-inch gooseneck. We have an omnidirectional mic with 4 mute buttons and a directional with a single mute button on it as well. And again, we've already reviewed the battery life, but again, that USB-C charging is a huge factor with this system. So here it is. If you're familiar with the ADECIA solution, you'll see that this is just another option and can be scaled in and mixed and matched with our controller, which replaces a traditional DSP, because we've built the DSP into the WAP. There's a full 8-channel DSP in here. Our table mics, same thing, full DSP built in. and the ceiling mics have a DSP built in. So we call this distributed architecture, and there's a lot of advantages to this. Our controller doesn't have to do the processing. It just receives and aggregates the signal and puts it onto your Teams and Zoom calls. And if you want, you can also route analog microphones to your in-room speakers and include them. So this really is all you need for 90% of the rooms out there, including combine and divide. With our 16-channel card, you can mix and match. You could do 2 8-channel systems with our controller, plug it all into a switch, add some speakers, and that is all you need. You would have a beautiful 16-channel wireless system in there. But you can mix and match. You could do 4 ceiling mics in that room, mix in some table mics, and bring in the ADECIA 8-channel system. Bring in 2 analog mics as well, and now you've got 18 channels of microphone. Folks, that's most rooms. That's a lot of scalability. But if you want to use this system standalone, again, let's talk about this. Acoustic echo cancellation is really essential for eliminating echo and feedback in conference calls. With traditional setups, you need a separate DSP. With our DSP built in with a full discrete channel for each microphone, that saves you a lot of money in most cases. You don't need that expensive third-party DSP. But because we have that built-in DSP in here, if you want to pair it and scale beyond the 16 channels, you can use anybody's third-party DSP. Here I'm showing our enterprise class MRX7D, which has 8 echo-canceled inputs in it. But here's the beautiful thing. Because we have the DSP built in here, and this has a 64-channel Dante card, you guessed it, we can support 64 microphones on a single DSP. Again, this is a huge, huge advantage of that distributed architecture. And voice lift. You have the ability with the the RMW wireless system to turn off that internal DSP. Let another system handle the echo cancellation, and now those mics can go into what we call low latency mode for voice lift. So now you can use an MRX7D to do advanced mix-minus routing. You can do voice lift to certain areas, zone speaker outputs. Sky's the limit with what you can do when you look at this as a standalone microphone system outside of the ADECIA solution. And again, the huge advantage here over what's been out there is we can now use that Dante network clock to synchronize all of the systems instead of running wires, analog wires between them all. That's again a huge, huge advantage. So what we've covered today are wire and wireless microphones better. Most of your enterprise class, really high-end boardrooms are going to feature these microphones. Like I said, we are on some of the finest tables in the world for all those aforementioned reasons. Decked with the latest technology, for me, is the best system to put in any space. You get higher fidelity, drop-out free, crystal clear, high-quality audio. The RMW system right now is the best system on the market. We analyzed our competitors, incorporated what best features were already in the market, and as you can see, brought a lot of new features to bear as well. One new feature, for example, suppose one day you want all goosenecks and the next you want omni mics. You can now set a preset on your control panel. Take all the goosenecks off the charger base, put the Omni mics on, and with one button push, you will repair all of those microphones. Our systems support SNMP management, DHCP deployments. These are true enterprise class systems. And again, whether you use them within the ADECIA solution or standalone. With that, I was asked by our beloved marketing team to give you all a sneak peek at our 2.5 firmware update. All of our updates are always free, and they are huge. This came with a massive feature set increase, just like our 2.0 feature set did. And again, that shows the ROI, the future-proofing. These solutions grow with you. We continue to add more features to these solutions. For example, you can now have an entry-level technician set up a complex up to 4-way combine and divide with our new integrated tool. Now think about this. With one preset command, we can change Dante routes, equipment sets, tuning. We can turn an Omni mic into a directional. It is powerful what you can do with the presets and the tool within ADECIA 2.5. We've added external device control. You no longer need Extron, Crestron, all these big third-party hardware devices for control. What we can do now within this system with virtual control and with physical touch panels really makes this a turnkey end-to-end solution. And again, security setup. We are full enterprise class. Maybe your enterprise class customers need these to be support 802.1x, radius authentication. We can do that. We've added new features to make it even easier to set up the RMW. And this Provisionaire template, you can now make a virtual touch panel to put on any tablet with your preset buttons for dialing VoIP calls, for using our presets for combine and divide, the whole shebang. It's all in there. So let's take a couple slides here just to have a peek at it. So here's how we do combine and divide. You can have a fully certified Teams room in one side, same thing in the other. It takes 60 seconds to set these up. Your technician, once he mounts everything, walks through that 6 mouse click setup process, and that room's ready to go. Well, now you take a snapshot of that and call it preset 1 within our system. Then you open the door, you pick a main controller, include the speakers and mics from the other side of the room, and then rerun your auto tuning and have new acoustical tuning for the bigger room. Call that preset 2. And with one line command, now you are changing Dante routes, equipment sets, and tuning. Any mouse click can be included, and you have 10 of these presets. Here's a quick look at the tool. This is built within RM Device Finder, and literally I can drag and drop and shape up to 4 in this little virtual workspace rooms. I could have one room here, a hallway here and here, and then work on combining them. You can do your air doors however you want, and literally, this is such game-changing stuff compared to what we used to do 10 years ago to do this. This would be an advanced programmer spending many, many hours to get this done. Now it is literally a few mouse clicks. We've come a long way, folks. And then here, for me, this is the really exciting stuff. We are the complete ecosystem. You can take a Yamaha MCP wall panel, single cable, it's PoE, have it execute our presets, and now we can store third-party commands in the CR to control the cameras and change their condition as well. So not only can we change all of our own stuff, but now we can control any other piece that might be in that room as well. Shades, blinds, projectors, whatever that may be. So thank you very much. We're going to throw this open now to the Q&A, and I will stop sharing my screen, turn my camera on.
Hey, Tim. Great
take a look
job.
at the
I'll
chat.
help you out with these. If
Let's
you'd like.
take a look at the Q&A. Yeah, if you could jump in here. Where's my window?
Yeah,
So here we go. First
take
one.
a breath.
Are you using the mic right now or your ceiling mic? Great question. I am on the 12-inch wired gooseneck. So yes, I am preaching, using what I preach right here in this meeting. I do have the table mic muted, and I have my ceiling mic muted as well. Is this live? Yes, it is. I am live to you right now using the ADECIA system featuring the gooseneck microphone right now. Can this be connected as a microphone for a laptop? So you would need our RM controller for that. That'll take all 8 or up to 16 of these wireless mics and put them onto a beautiful USB connection, full echo cancellation, and give you speaker outputs for the room. Please, if you'd like to know more about that, please check out the ADECIA Solution. Get with us on that. Will the MRX7D do the auto configuration like the RMCR? No, so it is more of a traditional DSP, but what's nice about it is it's open architecture. You know, I spent 5 years with Clear One. Oof, was that a very, very difficult interface to learn. Used to spend 2 8-hour days training people on how to use that interface. I show people our interface in 5 minutes. Those mouse clicks, the whole 9 yards. But the MRX7 is very open architecture. So you just drag your modules in, make your connections. It has a lot of advanced features. Our VSP2 sound masking technology is embedded in there. Like I said, we've got that 64 by 64 card. We have multiple channel outputs for doing multiple zones, combine and divide. And we have that analog block, the AEC block in there, which can be used for analog mics as well. So with that MRX7, you can do 64 of our wireless mics and 8 analog mics and route and mix them however you want. And it also has ports for quick plug-in Yamaha wall controllers. We have a single gang with a volume pot and 4 preset buttons. So it's not kind of like the Biamp or some of the other competitors out there. It really is more friendly for specific Yamaha applications. Ask Tim if extra charging station, if go gooseneck. No, so I have my charging station right here. All the mics fit on it. And like I said, you can pair 2 chargers to any one WAP. So you can have it serve 2 rooms or 2 areas. And any mic just magnetizes right onto the charger base, snaps right on, and will charge. One thing I did fail to mention, folks, we also have a 16-channel antenna option. So if you're doing 16 channels, don't buy 2 antennas, buy 1. So we have 2 antenna options as well. What type of microphone are you using for this webinar? It is the RMW gooseneck microphone. Yeah, like I said, be happy to if you want to hear my ceiling mic on another demo. You've seen my videos. If I change cameras here real quick, you can see the big space I'm sitting in over here. And there's the ceiling mic above my head, and the wireless mic is right here on the table in front of me. Estimated date of firmware 3.0. Whoa! 2.5 just came out this month. I haven't even gotten my head fully around what all's in there. It is an amazing amount of technology within there. Do you need 2 chargers if you have 8 goosenecks? No. Here's my charger. I've got 4 mics on here, but I could put 8 goosenecks. I've got a mix, and as you can see, the magnets stop them from falling off. And I can put any 8 mics I want to on there.
We got some in the chat too. First one is, what is the maximum distance of the microphones from the base?
So decked is beautiful. Yeah, thank you. I was remiss to not mention that. Decked is 300 feet line of sight, and unlike RF, decked can go through a wall. Many times we can put an antenna in a hallway and it can service 2 adjacent rooms through that wall. Obviously that 300 feet drops down a little bit, but yeah, try that with an RF microphone. You walk behind a wall and you have some serious issues. So yeah, decked is very robust at penetrating sheetrock and those kinds of things as well.
Next one is, if installing in standalone mode, can Yamaha VXL Series P VXL1B 16P be connected via Dante?
Yes, so the VXLs are amazing speakers. I use them here. They you can't really route the microphones directly to them. You would want to use our controller again, like I showed you on that topology. The controller connects to everything and it aggregates all the signals. It routes the correct stuff to the speakers. It routes the correct stuff onto your Teams and Zoom calls. It's got, oops, excuse me. It's got 4 interfaces in there: SIP, Bluetooth, line in and out, and USB. In fact, here's my system in the rack right there. You can see how small my solution is. That's it, folks. Everything, including the wireless systems, powered by that switch. And there's my controller, and I am plugged. My laptop's plugged into the USB interface on the back. And when I go to trade shows, I'll plug a handheld mic in there and do announcements and that sort of thing with the XLR inputs.
Awesome. I mean, that's Tim, you mind giving us one last look at the gooseneck that you're talking on, by the way?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me back up a little bit. And here's the beauty of it, right? I'll even change cameras for you folks. So here's the beauty of a gooseneck mic. I can now walk around in here, and I can come have my meeting now over at this table. I'll come over here.
You got your Bob Barker on right now.
Pull my chair up, and now I can have a very beautiful meeting right here. I could even host a webinar or move around anywhere I want within this space. My antenna's over here. I could literally walk, back down to my house 70 feet away with this microphone.
Perfect. You look like you're on a game show.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, now again, folks, it's an amazing solution. I've been doing wireless microphones for about 12, 13 years now. And when this RMW came out, again, Yamaha, for every ADECIA piece, looks at what's out there, does their market research, and then brings out just really a superior product.
Sweet. That's all the questions for right now. Maybe we'll give it another few seconds to see if any jump in at the end here. But if not, then I mean, we might be all set.
Well, thank you, folks, very, very much. If anyone doesn't have any other further questions, please reach out to us at uc.yamaha.com. Please reach out to us field engineers. There's a team of us here in the U.S. And my favorite thing is to work with you guys on best microphone options for your rooms, room designs. Please get with us. And we'll have some other huge announcements coming up about expanding our capabilities here at Yamaha UC.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tim, and thank you everyone for joining us today. You'll hear from us in a follow-up with the recording, so please let us know if you have any more questions. In addition to that, I'd like to tell you all now that we will have our next webinar April 10th at 2 p.m. on Decoding Conference Systems, a guide to specifying the perfect wireless solution, hosted by another one of our great engineers. Not Tim this time, unfortunately. But yeah, all you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Look out for that recording. And thank you so much again, Tim. Great job.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great afternoon. And please reach out to us. Let us know how we can help.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.